Hey fellow Patriots, Bravo Echo here. Welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Thanks for tuning in to this video. And as always, I hope this finds you doing well. If you're not a subscriber, please reach up and subscribe. Please share. Help us grow. If you like this video, please hit the like button, which helps us with our algorithms. In some ways, this is a dreaded video, but I knew it was coming over the passing years and months. And as the title of this video states, I do believe we're at 11:50 p.m. approaching the midnight hour, and if something doesn't change quickly, we will strike midnight. That's just my belief. It's not a prediction, but based on everything that I see and the analysis of information, I do believe this to be the case. So a couple things I wanted to share with you in this video. I do believe the perfect storm is gathering. There are so many things that are working against us globally, nationally, and in many regions of the country. In the last 96 hours, war has broken out in the Middle East. It just spread where the U.S. is sending a carrier strike group to the Mediterranean, of course to observe. That's pretty humorous. But there's so many pieces involved in the Middle East escalation. Israel has declared war. Israel was on the brink of signing a deal with Saudi Arabia that would have allowed Saudi Arabia to obtain nuclear weapons. However, just recently, Saudi Arabia did give overflight clearance out of Iran in the strike on Israel. It was a multi-level strike, sea, air, and ground. So things are tense in the Middle East. We'll see if Iran and Syria gets involved. How does that impact us here in the United States? Well, we already had a massive amount of problems here. Economics, fuel, food, crime is off the charts, jobless, fewer paying into the system, people not wanting to work, the southern border is flooded. That is a video in itself, but I do believe the perfect storm is aligning. If by chance the United States enters into a Middle Eastern conflict or a conflict anywhere else to include on the home turf, we are massively short of equipment, arms, munitions, even down to uniforms for the troops. I believe all four services again fell short of their recruitment goals, so the numbers are questionable. This is very concerning when the number one goal, responsibility of the United States government is to protect the homeland. So with that said, I want to talk about focusing on preparedness. First thing is yourself. You need to focus on you. Where are your priorities and where your head's at in the game? You're either in it or you're not. It is too late in the game now to be waffling. No excuses. You need to get it done. If not, you likely could be on your own. Okay? So focus on preparedness, on you, your spiritual, physical, and psychological well-being. This is critical. It's concerning from my perspective on the number of people that were rattled just on the October 4th emergency alert system test. Um, People spent hours and hours and hours watching podcasts and chasing fear porn um, over this. There's nothing wrong with being concerned, but when it totally captures your mind, your feet aren't grounded. Okay? Let's talk about where you spend your time and who you spend it with. At this point in the game, who you have as friends, if they cannot help you in your preparedness goals and effort, you're probably wasting your time and not spending it wisely. Okay? You need to be around friends with skills, friends who are like-minded, with the same direction forward. I've shared with you in the past, probably 80 to 90% of the people I spend my time around are like-minded people with the same goals and directions and priorities. Not really by choice, it's just how it happened. Because mentally, when your focus is on preparedness 24/7, year after year, for the most part, you somehow end up with people of the same priorities. Okay? And actually, this is a very comforting thing. All right? Whether it's in my neighborhood, my community, or throughout with Hope for Survival people from state to state. This is a comforting feeling. If you haven't noticed, the world and our nation, social media platforms, they're just flooding us with crap. Either it involves body painting, it involves sports, college and professional sports of all levels, and I'm a sports lover at the college level. But there's so much negative in that. Okay, Taylor Swift. It's like every other post on my Hope for Survival Facebook feed is Taylor Swift, and it's like I'm not anti-Taylor Swift. She's just not on my radar. I'm not a fan. It's not personal. It's just not me. But everything I see is nothing but her relationships, her music, so on and so forth. And I see these feeds. My point is, where are you spending your time at? If you are not working hard to better your preparedness, putting food, water, shelter, security, medicinal, if you are not stockpiling this stuff right now, you're really messing up. Okay? Now, I know that space and I know that finances plays a role into this for many. You need to make cuts somewhere, and you need to be stockpiling food and water or access to water. All right. If you got storage problems with it, then you need to find someone nearby that you trust with your life that you can store excess food at their place. Rent a storage unit, store it there, climatized. But you need to find a way to do it. I feel comfortable saying at this point, if you don't have at least 1 year, maybe 2 years worth of supplies put back, you could run into some serious problems. The very first article I wrote starting Hope for Survival nearly 5 years ago was an article called When the Trucks Stop Running. When the trucks stop running, your community is going to have major problems. Fuel, food, and pharmaceuticals are stocked for 3 days. And that's based on your populace. They have a 3-day supply. And like President Reagan once said, you're 9 meals away from starvation. When the trucks stop running for any cause at all, i.e. fuel cost goes too high, diesel fuel prices goes up, or our country goes to war and all of our available resources are then redirected to the war front, these trucks are likely going to slow down or they're going to stop. Where does that leave you? If you were dependent on going in a grocery store to get your daily, weekly, bi-monthly needs, you might want to rethink your approach. Okay? I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you this is how it is. All right? Again, we've been telling you this for multiple years. Some of you have been listening for multiple years, and I know some of you have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. That's your business and personal to you. All we can do is share it, and we can tell you. All right? So you need to get with it. Now, as the video beforehand showed you the food video, stocking, getting resources. Some of you may disagree, but there's a side of this for me and hopefully for you that has compassion. All right. If you are capable of, and you have 20 extra bucks, 50 extra bucks, 100 extra bucks, whatever, that you can buy resources to help stock a loved one that is incapable of bettering their preparedness circumstances. They may be on limited income. They may be physically unable to stockpile. What I showed you in that video is actually not for my home. It's for a loved one. Miss Lucy and I buy randomly and stockpile, and we pass it off to help a couple loved ones get through daily life. This is going to be extremely difficult for those individuals. It may be a loved one, it may be a friend, a neighbor. If you can, consider adding a little extra and helping make sure that these folks are taken care of. Okay? It's not just a responsibility as a citizen to help others, but also a person of faith. It's something that we need to do. Okay? I know individuals who have prepared for a while, but because of health and physical limitations, they had to stop. It's not their fault. It's one of those things in life. Okay? And those of us out here who are able to continue preparing, that can afford to do so, take extra, and to ensure we help take care of these individuals. Okay? They are our brothers and sisters, and what's going on in the world and their country is not their fault. So we have to do our best that we can to look out for one another. Okay? Everything that you're seeing and everything that we're talking about, we have been talking about in Hope for Survival for almost 5 years. Nothing that you're seeing should be a surprise to you. We have talked about food, ways to stock food, procuring, growing, freeze-drying, canning, dehydrating, the works. Water. We've talked about water, how critical water is, how to cleanse water. Okay, we've posted information on the website. We've talked about it in Zoom. There's no excuse at this point for anyone to not know how to clean water or to put away food. We've talked about shelter. We've talked about security. We've talked about building security in depth. The 5-mile radius, pushing threats away from you. Building a community team that you can work together to provide security for your neighborhood, to grow food together, to do skills. We've talked about all these things. So anyone that's in panic mode right now, I'm sorry. But honestly, you don't have time to panic right now. Okay? Things are moving very, very fast. And in a matter of waking up tomorrow, the world could be an entirely different place. Okay? I've witnessed it around the world in my past life, from continent to continent. Things can change on a dime. And it is always the citizens in the area where the change takes place that suffer the most. It's the families and the people in the neighborhoods and people on the ground. Okay? These decisions are made at very high levels, and it's almost always with a total disregard for the people. Okay? It's the people who go hungry, the people who have dirty water, the people who are sick and can't get care, or the people who get caught in crossfire or die during war. And then when there's no supplies coming in, you have gangs going neighborhood to neighborhood and home to home. When they can't find food, they start looking for it. All right? All these things that we've used a building block approach to from Hope for Survival over 5 years was for a purpose. It wasn't for my health. It wasn't because I didn't have something better to do with my time. It was to help you. Okay? And it boils down to that. So, going forward, get your head on straight, get out of panic mode, get your feet grounded, focus on your faith, get your head right, get your head in the game, and do the best that you can. Okay? If you have any questions, email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com, or you can leave a comment below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay? Keep the faith. First and foremost, you got to have faith. You got to be a leader. Step up. Playtime's over. All right? Excuses no longer count. You got to make it happen. Whether you're alone, you're with a family, you're in a community, you got to make it happen. Okay? If not me, then who? All right? So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, keep your head on a swivel. Bravo Echo out.